Is it time to bench Jalen Hurts? I was going to do this topic anyway because this is something that I had repeatedly gotten on my TikTok live stream when I was doing a live stream of the game of like, it's time for Tanner McKee. I want to see Tanner McKee, enough of Jalen Hurts. And I thought the argument was preposterous. But in steps the hot take machine of sports radio WIP. The first take of sports radio for whatever it is, 24 hours a day, you're pretty much going to get first take radio. You take a side, we're going to argue about it. Doesn't matter if we believe it or not. We're just going to say it, and we're going to wait for the phones to light up. And it's one of the reasons why I was, at times I'm okay with being out of the sports radio industry as a whole. Like, I can't stand that. I don't like it. I have no respect for it. But then you have guys that are hot take artists that have no problem with throwing shit at the wall, and that have sold their soul for engagement farming. And WIP does it better than just about anybody else, all right? They say shit that they do not believe, but they know will get engagement. And I have no respect for that. And there are a few guys at that station that I do not fuck with, and I would never fuck with. And one of those is Joe Giglio, who repeatedly will take the obvious, if you will, and skew the other way because he knows that it will get engagement, and it's lazy, and look, it works for them, okay? It works for the entire station. They are a juggernaut. They get ratings primarily because of their relationship with the Eagles and the Phillies. A large part of it is because they've been around for 30, 40 years, and people are just tuned in to them. They are used to going to them. Philadelphia is a creature of habit society. We don't like change. The other is the fact that the Fanatic changes lineups every year and a half, 2 years, so you can't even get used to a show. There's a lot of reasons why. Do I think one of the reasons why is this engagement farming bullshit? No, I don't. I was tipped off to this because of a guy that I do respect in the industry, John Marks, who quote tweeted this. And this is Joe Giglio's latest scorching hot take. I encourage you, if you have not heard it, please God, put on SPF 1000 because you're going to get third-degree burns. Joe Giglio stated, he has earned the right to start the game on Sunday, but that's the end of where I go with earned, deserved, and all those kind of words. As this season progresses, it is on the table for me that I would pull the plug, meaning pulling the plug on Jalen Hurts. Well, thank fucking God that Joe Giglio does not have a say in this, because that is quite possibly one of the dumbest things I've heard. It's probably the dumbest thing I've heard since the last hot take that he had. And this is a guy who repeatedly will have hot takes. Him and a couple other guys at that channel, they just have no honor, no self-respect. I don't know how they look themselves in the mirror with the bullshit that they spew for 4 hours every day because, again, they truly can't believe it. But he's also one of those guys where I go, this is the state of sports radio. Like, he has a job in sports radio. And this isn't like he has a job and I don't. I thought I was okay. I thought I was more entertaining than like you were coming for the hard-hitting analysis. I tried to give both, but I also tried to give my honest opinion. This guy hasn't given his honest opinion in I don't know how long, and this is a prime example because nobody that watches the Eagles and is paid to do this job can honestly say, I am pulling the plug on Jalen Hurts for Tanner McKee. And I was going to do this anyway, but let's really break down what we have seen from Jalen Hurts, because I'm not going to tell you that Jalen Hurts has been good the last 2 games. He has been brutal. I mean, on Monday, we saw Jalen Hurts have 5 turnovers. 5. That's a lot. That's a whole lot of turnovers. I mean, that was the first time I had seen Jalen Hurts where I went like, man, that looks like rookie year Jalen Hurts. So where does those 5 turnovers, and the season, the body of work that we've seen, he's got to be up there, right? Like, he's got to be one of the worst quarterbacks in the league in terms of turnovers. He's got to be. I mean, he had 5 after all. He's not. It gives him 10 on the year. 10 turnovers. After the 5 he had, he's got 10 on the year. I mean, looking at some of the guys, and I got the list in front of me here, looking at some of the guys that are in front of him with total turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, total. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Flacco, Justin Herbert, Bryce Young, Cam Ward, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, J.J. McCarthy, Pat Mahomes. Then you get to Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix, and that kind of rounds out the people that have 10. And then Marcus Mariota has 9, Aaron Rodgers has 9. He's not even close to being at the top of the list, and that's one of the beautiful things that I, as an Eagles fan, have come to appreciate about Jalen Hurts is the fact that when he does turn the ball over, I rarely get mad because he doesn't do it very often. Now, Monday was a blip on the radar to me. Monday was, the one outlier of a game for the last 2 years where you go like, man, he just did not have it. And a couple of those interceptions weren't, I don't think, necessarily his fault. The clinching one to lose the game, unbelievable play by the defensive back. There was one that went through the hands of A.J. Brown. But again, you still had too many. I think we can all agree on that one. But the idea that Jalen Hurts is this turnover machine and he needs to get benched is absurd. I mean, not just for the financial standpoint of it, but also for the fact that the Eagles are 8-4 right now. They don't have the luxury of packing it in for the rest of the year. They're still trying to win the division. They're still trying to get the number 1 seed, which is going to be extremely difficult. And I think we have all just come to realize that this isn't the year. This isn't last year, that's for sure. I mean, this offense is lost. But the idea that Tanner McKee is going to come in and play better, what gives you that idea? Because if you bench Jalen Hurts, that's who's coming in. You want to pull the plug on Jalen Hurts, Tanner McKee's coming in. So again, what has made you think that Tanner McKee is the guy? What, because last year against a very, very bottom bitch opponent, he had a decent game? I mean, again, let's look at the facts of the situation. The offense has drastically changed. It is vanilla. It is predictable. It is bland as hell. So Tanner McKee is going to suddenly make it exciting again? Find that hard to believe. Really do. Okay, let's look at the other angle of this. Their offensive line is banged up. Last year it was healthy. This year it's never been healthy. I go back to week 1 when Landon Dickerson is coming off of a surgery, and ever since then, someone's either been missing every week or hobbling off the field every week. Their offensive line is a mess. Not to mention the fact that you switch out Mekhi Becton, who was a Pro Bowler last year, for Tyler Steen, who is dog shit, and what you've got is a mess. So now I've got a not very mobile quarterback in Tanner McKee behind a offensive line at this point. Let's call it what it is. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not great. It's makeshift. So I'm going to put Tanner McKee behind that. I'm going to put Tanner McKee calling Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni's offense behind a meh offensive line, and I'm expecting what? All of a sudden the offense starts to click? You can make the argument of like, oh, well, we got to try something. I don't think you do. I don't really think it matters in the long run, honestly. But the idea that we are going to bench Jalen Hurts because of 2 bad games, I don't look at this season as like, man, this has been Jalen Hurts' fault. Has he been bad the last 2 weeks against Chicago and LA? Absolutely. I mean, the offense is averaging 16 points a game since the bye week. That is unacceptable. But how much of that is Jalen Hurts not being dialed in, and how much of that is just a bad offensive line and bad play calling? I don't think that Jalen Hurts was good by any stretch of the means on Monday. I thought he made some nice throws. I also thought at times he was running for his fucking life. And the fact that he got the ball out at times, I was surprised that he wasn't sacked. So the idea that Tanner McKee would come in and run Kevin Patullo's offense better than a guy that was the Super Bowl MVP, that was a former MVP candidate 2 years ago, yeah, I find that hard to believe. But this is also a deeper issue. This is a deeper issue of where sports media is at, where a guy gets to come on and say bullshit like that, and he's going to be praised for it by the bosses because people in this city are just simply too lazy to switch the dial and go to anything else. I'm not even saying going to sports radio, going to anything else. They will sit there and listen to his makeshift argument, and they will listen to Hugh argue the logical side, and they will find that entertaining somehow. I don't get it. I think it's a very, very sad state of where we're at, where WIP, who has done this for years, they are on top. And if you try to have a logical conversation, it falls short because they've been doing it for 30 years. And I think it's the laziest, bottom of the barrel bullshit, and he is the king of it. Joe Giglio, the grifter, because that's what he is. He's a grifter in this industry. He's not from Philly. He's not even a Philadelphia sports radio, or he's not even a Philadelphia sports fan. But he's a radio vet, and he's a grifter, and he's coming to this city, and he riles us up with these bullshit hot takes. He'll sit there and say something, give him a couple months. He'll say that we need to bench Trey Turner for Edmundo Sosa, or it's time, he's that guy. And there's another guy that I have zero respect for too that he works with, and I'm not even going to mention his name because he's right there with him. It's like a battle of like who can out hot take the other, and they just laugh about it as they collect checks, and it's sad and it's pathetic. But what's more pathetic is the fact that this line of thinking has embedded itself into the Philadelphia Eagles fandom, where there are fans out there who think that this team would be better run with Tanner McKee. It wouldn't. I'm not telling you it would be drastically worse. I just don't see the upside of it. They're still trying to win games. They're still trying to win the division. You know, this isn't a lost season where you go, okay, this isn't the Arizona Cardinals where you go, there's definitely a divorce happening here between Kyler Murray and the organization. Let's see what else is out there in this given time. No, Jalen Hurts is going to be your quarterback next year. What is the upside of benching him? I don't get it. I don't get it in the slightest. All right. Thank you for coming to me shitting all over a guy that I, once again, have zero respect for. And by the way, I know a decent amount of people in the industry just because of working in the industry for a while. I've yet to meet anybody who has respect for him. Actually, that's not true. John, who actually is the guy who tipped us off because he shit all over him on Twitter, John has said nice things about him before, but basically just like he's good at his job. But other than that, I can tell you, like, it's not a lot of people in the industry. Like, we see through it. We see through what him and the station as a whole does. And that is, we're just going to throw bullshit at a wall and hope to God that you actually believe it. And it is sad. I will remind people, if you've ever disagreed with anything I've said on here, and you're like, oh, you're just trying to rile up and to be a hot take guy. No, I actually believe it. Because I'm not that. At least I can look myself in the mirror and be like, okay, well, I might have had a bad take, but at least I actually believed it, and I didn't just pander to a fan base knowing full well that I can just get them riled up. It is pathetic. All right, I'm going to go now. Subscribe if you could. Subscribing is cool. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's sad. I could really go off, and I'm not going to. I'm debating it. No, I'm not going to. Just, I have no respect for them at all.